Folks, hello and welcome to Gamers Health. Rachel was worried about the lighting, so I hope the lighting is sufficient. I
I'm
am
sure it's quite sufficient.
I am Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. With me, as every Saturday night, is my better half, Rachel, best known to me as Rach. And this is Thanksgiving weekend. So we actually struggled a little bit to figure out how we were going to do this weekend, what we're going to talk about. And I think the main topic is going to be what we are thankful for, right?
Yeah, and how gratitude is something that can really heal us in a lot of ways and help us. We were talking last week about the
Non-alcoholic, sorry, by the way,
seasonal
folks.
depression, and part of positive psychology. Things that people sort of realized and researched helps people to be able to negate some of the symptoms of their depression is by keeping gratitude journals, being able to, sort of identify the things that one can be grateful for, whether it's someone getting up and giving you their seat on the train, or the people that we have in our life, the things that we've done. There's a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned on the blog side on Thanksgiving, I mean, at this time in 2020, I was just thankful to be around. Honest to God. I mean, 2020 was my trifecta of hospitalization. It was me looking at the precipice, looking over the precipice, and saying, "Oh fuck, I could be tapping out at 53, 52 actually. It was before my 53rd birthday. It's a bit too early to tap out into this shit. I don't want to tap out. I want to keep in the game." And I think that was important. And I think that sometimes when things are going very well, all right, when we take things for granted, we don't necessarily appreciate and we aren't necessarily thankful for what we have. And 2020 for me was an eye opener. I really realized that I was blessed with not just a wonderful wife, a wonderful family, an amazing community, not just a local community that I'm part of, but the gaming community that I'm part of, the people and the friendships that I've made because of this. And that was important to me. And I have since, in gratitude and thanks, taken actions to keep myself around for a nice long time, which means let's see, exercising, controlling my blood sugar, my A1C, which we will discuss later today because that's become a bit of a challenge. My strengthening my heart again through the exercise, and actually getting a regular exercise routine down. These are all things that, yeah, fuck it. I'm 52. What do I need to do? Right? Let me go down to the pub.
There's plenty to do.
Let me go down to the pub. I need my pub lunches. I need my 4 or 5 beers, not light beers, mind you. I mean Sam Adams, because
Sam Adams.
Sam Adams. You got to go for the flavor. You got to, and there's that idea, especially in my case. I was a cop for 20 years, and I'm not going to say that we believe that we're immortal, but to do the job effectively, you have to believe in your, not so much invulnerability, but pretty much that the actions that you take will be the right actions, and there will be no negative consequences.
Right, and that's all useful and helpful when you're, 30 and working the streets and making it happen. But as we get older, we do need that realization of
reality.
Oh, shit, nobody gets out of this thing alive.
Right.
So what can I do to make this last?
Right. And that's part of, I mean, honestly, it's part of what this year, last year was a self-realization for me.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, I really had to look at myself and open my eyes. And I think this year is truly more of an appreciation of others
Mhm.
because there are people in my life and in our life and in the life of the two of us that have been
Mhm.
influential, have been good friends, good connections, people that are just more than acquaintances that
Mhm.
you bond with, and you're talking with them, and they're a generation older than us. Okay,
Mhm.
so you know we're in our 50s. These are people in their 70s, maybe their 80s, and they're having life struggles that are aren't pretty much on a level of, well, shit, I got to do this and I got to keep an eye on this because my no, it's all right. So no matter what I do at this point, I've got 6 to 9 months, and for me that is eye opening, and it's not me that is going through the 6 to 9 months. It's people I care about, and when you see
Mhm.
that, and yes, these are people you can certainly say they lived a long life, they lived a full life. But once that, once somebody actually takes out the sands of time and flips it over, and you watch those
The
the
hourglass.
hourglass go,
Mhm.
and those kernels of sand start falling through it.
Oh, we had a perfect visual aid. I had a uh, sand timer that I used to use with clients.
Well, I didn't know it was gonna. I didn't know it was gonna go for this one, Rachel.
like sands through the hourglass.
These
So are
are
the
the days
days of
of
our
our
lives.
lives. But I mean, that really, the holiday season is coming up. I mean, Thanksgiving is the beginning of the quote holiday season.
Yeah.
You get Thanksgiving, you have Hanukkah, you have Christmas, you get Kwanzaa, Three Kings Day. You have all of these events that make you appreciate people in your life because you know what, the holidays, you will see the people in your
Yeah.
life, your people in your family, your friends, you get together with them. And it makes you realize just how tenuous some of these lives are and how much you need to appreciate and cherish the time that you have with those people. I
Mhm.
mean, that's what it comes down to. I'm
Yeah, all the warmth that we feel for people around now, it's a double-edged sword. Like, for some, we're preparing to say goodbye, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
and it
Or are saying goodbye. Like,
it sucks. I mean,
between the anniversaries on my side and,
yeah, I mean,
you know,
I, every year seems to bring its own challenges. Last year, the challenges were for me were me. I mean, I I was the challenge. Holy shit! But this year the challenges have been more of our extended family, our
Mhm.
circle of friends, and and dealing with the loss and everything that goes, or the
Mhm.
the the potential, not, it's not even a potential loss. You know the loss is coming up,
Mhm.
and in dealing with that, and it changes the perspective. It certainly does. By the way, I just hiccuped, and it's not a beer hiccup. Okay, I'm having,
It's a hop tea
it's
hiccup.
a hop tea hiccup, and hop tea. We're not sponsored, folks. I'm just throwing this out there.
But if you wanna,
Yeah, if Hop Tea wants to sponsor us, we'd be more than fucking happy
send
to do
us
so.
plenty.
We're already subscribing to get like, I don't know, a case and a half of this shit every fucking month. But this is actually a black tea, hop tea, and the ingredients are carbonated water, hops, Simcoe and Citra, organic black tea, citric acid. It's got 70 milligrams of caffeine, and it's got absolutely no fucking alcohol. So here's the thing. All right,
It
well,
smells really nice.
it honestly, if I could not drink alcohol, if somebody told me, and I believe this last year, by the way,
This isn't bad either.
yeah,
But, I mean, I have the
you
two that I like the
you give a
best.
preference for what, the green tea?
the green tea, that light green label, and then there's the teal label, which is the calm one, which is a chamomile infusion.
But I mean, here's the thing. All right, the last summer, beginning of the fall, I was so pretty much actually, and middle of last summer, so I was under the impression I could not drink alcohol, and that was a shame. I just got
not this summer past,
this past
summer before
2020, and that was a shame because I had alcohol. I had mini kegs I had to get rid of, which actually for my blood sugar I had to get rid of them anyway.
They were done. They were bad. They weren't going to be working, so we had.
Some of them would have been working, but I decided to get rid of them. In any case,
and that's that.
In any case, when I was told you can have a glass of wine or two or whatever, or a beer, you can have alcohol in moderation. I was like, I can, because
the government standard being like kind of lowballed. It's like 2 in a day for a male,
right?
One
for a woman.
Female.
And here's the thing. So now you would say, all right, well, if you can have beer now, well, and I can light beer. Again, I have to watch the carbs. So we're going to have a discussion about the carbs later on tonight. But I found hop tea, and so I had to try those non-alcoholic beers. I mean, the Heineken one, people were raving of it. And I gotta say, Heineken Zero, whatever they call it, Heineken.
Yeah, that's it.
It tastes good. It tastes, but it's very high in carbs. It's higher in carbs than the standard Heineken. And why is that? It's because it's not taking the sugars out that are as part of that malt, and it's leaving them there for flavor. It's not being converted to alcohol. And if you are a diabetic type 1 or type 2,
that's not a help for you.
It's not a help. So I found hop tea. And I'll be honest with you, I would rather drink hop tea over any near beer that's out there.
Shit, yeah.
It tastes so much better.
I just feel like, why?
Well,
near beer, why?
It's a satisfying taste. It really is. So even though I
don't know, I wasn't really drinking for the taste.
What the hop tea? The hop tea? Come on, man! The hop tea tastes.
No, the hop tea is a different thing altogether. That's something.
It tastes not. It has
non-alcoholic.
It has a hoppy taste. So if you've got that beer desire, it'll satisfy that beer desire. At least in my case. Without the alcohol, without the calories, without the carbs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were talking about carbs and we're talking about my blood sugar, and I'm going to just check this real quick. I'm sorry, folks. I know it's taking an extra few seconds, but
you're looking for your bar graph.
Yeah, so I'm going to...
how do you say it? Line graph.
So right now, my blood sugar is 137.
Hold that a different way. So they can see the graph, maybe?
I don't know if you can see the graph. I don't know if they can.
Yeah, the camera's taking the light or putting too much light in there.
So in any case, there's a graph. You can see there's a graph there. And here's the thing. I found out through an inadvertent experience of what do we call it? Medication vacation.
Medication holiday.
Medication holiday. Yes. My metformin. I stopped taking metformin for about 4 or 5 days and realized I was no longer exploding my ass. I mean, it was happening more often than not. Days where I was not having what's the proper word for this? Liquid gold. Is that? No, probably not. But in any case, the days
I don't think so.
The days that I was not having issues were few and far between. And I suspected it was the metformin. I never actually was able to prove it. And then I proved it by not taking it. So now I am an extended release metformin. But initially, the switch and the idea of I've got to control, like, instead of taking 1,000 milligrams twice a day, it was 500 milligrams of extended twice a day, but adjusting it downward if necessary. And I have found that apparently my sweet point is 1/500 once a day in the morning. And what it seems to do is actually controls my blood sugar enough in conjunction with Jardiance and a diet that controls the carbs. So it took a while for this to work. The first, I don't know, week or two of this, my blood sugar was whacking up very highly, and
Because you weren't taking
I wasn't taking
medicine.
it at all, and it seemed like no matter what my diet was, my body was not responding to uh, a lower carb intake. But once my body, I think, it adjusted from not having the metformin and then bringing the metformin in.
Right, because you had stopped for so long,
yeah.
you were reintroducing it and having an adaptation response to it. Meaning, like, your body had to take some time to get used to it again.
Right. So now, like what we experienced today, we had our usual breakfast, which is an omelet with one egg and egg whites apiece. What is it? Onions and peppers. Although we've been adding the leftover ham from Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's good.
Yum,
oh
yum.
My god, it is. It's very yummy. And low carb bagel or low carb bread. And initially, I was still spiking. My blood sugar would go over 200 constantly at the breakfast when we were first doing this transition. And now it usually hits around 165, maybe 170, 175, and then goes down. So we had breakfast. We didn't really have a lunch. We had an early dinner today. When we went down for dinner at our local pub, my blood sugar was like mid 80s. We sat down at the pub. My blood sugar was mid 70s. So my body has adjusted to the new diet.
Right, and so you had the Philly cheesesteak, which is
I had a
traditionally been something that
little hoagie
puts
roll
you over the edge
because it's got bread
and puts you, I guess, in the high zone.
Right. So the way my monitor
like
is
at
the Freestyle 2, so the way the app works is anything over 180 is not ideal, but over hit 240, and then your sensor tells you, "Holy fuck, you are in the danger zone.
Take yourself immediately to the hospital." No, not quite like that.
But. No, but if you go, it also tells you if you go low, if you go below 50. So now that my body seems to have adjusted to the new medication and routine. Now, and by the way, something else I've been doing, which I think is important to note, is I've been making sure that I hit my 30 minutes of exercise on my Apple Watch. Now, to do so, I have to make sure I do the freestyle workout because it doesn't always pick up my walking when we take these long walks. And the reason being, I am medicated. So the medication keeps my heart rate from increasing too much, but it does increase. So I put the tracker on, and my goal is to hit 30 minutes or more of exercise. My personal goal is to hit at least 45 minutes per day of exercise, not just walking, but light workout with free weights integrated with some boxing moves and some other calisthenics. And I think that has been very useful in keeping the blood sugar numbers within range and under control. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be full of shit. And believe me, I've been full of shit often, especially on metformin. Well, not really full of it, just expelling a lot of it. But in any case, I'm sorry. So now, again, it's the Christmas holiday coming up, right? And I think we mentioned this, touched on it last week. The Christmas holiday includes a lot of obligations with family, but it also means there's a lot of obligations that take you away from things that maybe you set up in your support network, like gaming, right? Maybe because and it's not just because of you. You got a gaming group, it's got 5 or 6 people, and everybody has responsibilities coming up in December.
Yeah.
Everybody has obligations. Everybody's got and it could be work. Oh, it's Christmas holiday. They work retail. They got to work more evenings, longer hours. Um, they're a cop or a fireman, and they've got to work extra hours for coverage because people that are getting the holidays off or the weeks off. People are going to do shopping. People are going to do things with their families, setting up things for the holidays. All these things are going to potentially affect how you deal with stress, with stressors in this month because you don't have that usual bit. Now,
and dealing with people that you don't generally see otherwise.
Like
but
shopping?
That you feel obligated to see,
for the families.
Like sometimes, like, there's situations like you don't generally see your certain family members except for at holidays. And all that, whatever that brings up for people,
I mean, these are all stressors. Holidays can be stressors. If you're the one that's hosting, it can be a lot of stress, right? I mean, that's the reason why for Rach and I, now this is a 2-family home, but it's kind of like an extended 2-generational family. My parents live downstairs. My mother historically has been hosting holiday dinners for the family, us, her cousins, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece, a friend of the family or two. She's been hosting this for years for the major holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. Going back probably, I think, the whole time, at least a dozen years. I don't think that
ever since I've been involved here.
Yeah. So.
And probably longer.
Probably. So people get older, right? My parents are in their upper 70s. And a couple of years ago, I decided with Rachel's input, I was like, you know what? My mother shouldn't have to keep preparing these meals, but she still wants to host. There's something.
There's still certain things that she wants to do, like, like the mac and cheese she would not give up because like Nat and Shannon wanted it.
The pigs in a blanket that doing everybody's.
Pigs in the blanket. We all had a really fun time, like making that. Me, Shannon, and
no. But the things that ruin the appetite before the dinner.
Yeah.
Still all that stuff still happens. So we cater it from our local pub. And we do that because we can bring the food back. This year it was turkey, ham, veggies, potatoes, salad, bread. It was stuffing. It was delicious. It was awesome. But it also removed a lot of the stressors. And there's still stress involved in cleaning up for the holidays, right? You got to clean up before the guests.
Yeah, you can't have your guests know that you live like a pig.
Right. So you got to clean up. Everything has to
be... So you got to clean top, you have to clean bottom, you got to clean everywhere.
You got to clean, right? If you're not catering and you're hosting, you got to cook. And the cooking can be real stressful. That's the reason why we remove that stress.
Right. And especially like trying to take into account, well, this one likes this one doesn't like that. And, where if you order,
everybody's stuck with what they get.
Exactly.
I hate to be like that, but it's
what we got.
It is what it is. What it is. It is what it ain't. But so that's part of the holiday stress, right? Is prepping those meals. We're blessed that we have a local pub that will prepare these family meals for you.
May they continue.
May they continue into the future, short and long, because it was really a great help. But you have the prep beforehand. Often you have the prep during. You have the prep afterwards, and then
the cleanup, and
you have and then of course you have the like in my family, the deep discussions don't happen at the dinner table. It's not like in the movies or the sitcoms. It's like, oh well, they sit down for a holiday dinner, and then Uncle Joe pipes in, and everybody's like, oh fuck, the dumb fuck is up his mouth up, and he's gonna say some stupid shit. No. any kind of stupid shit that we say prior to dinner, in the informal hangout when you're
Oh,
stuffed.
so people get to hang on to the bullshit through dinner.
Yeah, but it's not usually brought up during dinner. You get it. You get it out beforehand, and I think that's useful.
So you resolve the resentment before.
I don't know if it's resentment, but okay, we can go that way, Rach.
No, I thought you were saying because there's certain stupid things that people say and then it's forgotten about by dinner.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's generally forgotten about by dinner. If we're gonna, if the political, social discussions are gonna happen, they happen before Rach and I and our niece Shannon go out to pick up the food. Okay. Which, by the way, is always amusing because as the crow flies, it's like 2.5 blocks. But as the one-way streets and necessitate it, it's probably close to half a mile for us to get there. It's the way it works. But these things are important. This is the holiday. Now we're going to do this again in December
for Christmas.
For Christmas. Actually, with our family, we have. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. My sister hosts Christmas Eve. We host Christmas Day, and it's a good way to spread out the responsibilities for the holidays. Then we're going to have Easter come the springtime. And there is something to be said about the holidays because events like this mean that you get to see relatives that you don't see often. In the case of my sister and brother-in-law, we haven't seen them since Christmas before COVID, so it's going to be 2 years. But we will see them this year because, God willing, this seems to be a better year. And as I have mentioned before, Rach and I, we're vaccinated plus. We got our booster shot.
Yeah.
And I will say this now, so I don't have to say this later. All right. We've got our vaccine shots
because it was right for us.
Right. We have
what's right for you, maybe something different, and that's fine.
We have comorbidities, and we are in our 50s, and it made sense. But
if you're in it, stay in it.
Yeah. For us to say, well, once you got the 2 shots, you might as well keep it rolling.
Let it ride.
Let's let it ride on black. But again, your situation is different, but don't, please, I ask you, I beg you, the talking heads on TV, ignore them. Okay? If they're part of a cable channel, cable news, or any of that stuff, ignore them. Get your advice from a medical professional.
They probably know a hell of a lot less than we do.
Yeah. Get your advice from a medical professional that you trust, that knows your personal history, your medical history, and can give you advice that fits you and your definition and your risk factors and your comorbidities or lack thereof. Honestly, again, Rach and I were quick to get the vaccine, and I will tell you flat out, I am against any kind of vaccine mandate.
Yeah.
All right? It's a personal choice. For us, the choice was a no-brainer, but for you, it may certainly be different. And I respect that, and I certainly wish the government would.
Yep. Different things for different people.
Just...
there's no reason to excommunicate people.
Oh my God! You no longer fit into the new worldwide religion of whatever the religion is that we're going to talk about with COVID. I swear to God, you need 17 masks and 4 shots. You need a trifecta of shots. You need the Moderna, Pfizer.
Oh yeah, mix and match. It's like, no, what am I going to mix and match? Some fucking J&J shit. When they're like, oh, you'll need a booster 2 months after. I was like, fuck that. I'm going for the one that's going to give me the longest between.
Right, and we still get one 6 months later.
Whatever. Yeah, but 2 and 6, that's a big difference.
I am the individual that, I swear to God, for decades, I never got a flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had cancer, and then it was like, well, you need to get flu shots. And I did for a couple of years. And I was like,
yeah, where it worked, you could never get around it.
And then I was like, now I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that flu shot. You give me that flu. Well, then again, I'm going to a physician.
You're engaged with medical care now.
Yeah,
you haven't always been, even after cancer.
No. After the 5 years, after the all clear, I was like, okay, and thank you very much. I no longer need. Thank you. I appreciate. What's the matter?
Itchy.
Whatever it is, I did not do it. Okay, I swear to God, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
And now it's all right.
Again, I didn't rate bruises really easily.
Oh no, that's not a bruise. That's
all right. Well, whatever. Rage gets marked really easily, and I never done nothing. And I swear, I swear to my hot block, never done nothing. I wouldn't want my hot block to go bad. It could turn. It could turn. I swear. I swear to God, it could. So this week, Rachel did not have any yoga training this weekend
because I completed. Now I have to take the test. So I'll take that probably Monday.
There you go.
Or Tuesday.
That's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I really, as a husband, as your significant other, I'm glad to see that you're doing all this stuff. It's important because it gives you a good feeling about yourself, and it gives you
the world.
It opens up your world, and it gives you training that you can take to your.
There's a lot of useful stuff.
You know, I mean,
that could be useful for our family, for you, for other people. Also, not to mention,
yes,
me.
Well, there's been a lot of talk. If you watch the news, if you watch videos online, there's been a lot of talk about the Great Resignation, and
oh yeah,
and how people have been quitting their jobs, and there's a couple of reasons for it. I think one is that people have been like, well, I don't want to go back to work after I've been paid a great salary not to go to work, and I can understand that. I got a good pension. If you told me to go back to work for $10,000 more than the pension I'm making now, I'd tell you to pound fucking sand and take a leap, because that ain't happening. But there are people that are being put in that situation, and I understand it. Or people that are realizing, hey, I was given a paid vacation for the last year and a half. I've educated myself, or I've trained myself in a new field. All right, I'm leaving this field and going to somewhere else. God bless them. Okay. But effectively, it's what Rachel did.
Well, it's interesting. I was saying to low vision doctor when I went last week. Last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
I said they wanted us all to be back in the office, and if it's office masked and seeing the patient, I'd rather see the patients at home through Zoom.
Right.
Or through Doximity or whatever we're using.
Telecommunications.
Whatever. Yeah. And so, because there's a lot of mixed messages that can come from my eyes, and I know you guys see it, but if my face is obscured from there down, there's a lot of confusion that can happen, Someone might feel, oh, why'd you roll your eyes at me?
Yeah.
Where, like, to see the whole face helps you to understand, oh, this lady's listening. She understands.
She's engaged with my conversation.
Yeah, she's empathic. She, she cares about it,
She's not just telling me to go fuck off.
Right. Like, you see the genuineness, but from here down, if that's cut off, I don't know that. I just feel like it would interfere with the counseling process. So, there was that. And, I hadn't even thought about that until like pretty recently, and it's true. So.
You made the right choice. I mean,
yeah.
My personal opinion, and take this as you will. I knew when I was working, when I was an active member of law enforcement, I knew a lot of cops who had successful marriages only because they and their wife both worked. A lot of times they were both officers, both on the job, and they would work schedules that were opposite each other. One would work days, one would work midnights, and the way their hours worked is it covered the child care, and they never saw each other, and that's why their marriages worked.
And then they all retired, and it was like,
yeah. Rach and I, honestly, when I retired back in 2016, I said to Rach, I said, "Listen, I'm 4.5 years, well, 4+ years older than you." I go, by the time you turn 50, if you're ready to retire, we will make that happen, even if it means I have to go back to work part-time. Because, not for nothing, law enforcement's a stressful occupation, but so is social work. You put your time in, you bust your fucking hump.
Right, and there's a lot of things that you hear, that you see, that you experience with clients that sort of change your worldview, like I guess they'd say vicarious traumatization. Like certain things that you absorb, and that you absorb them and you don't forget them. But you work to sort of not undo, but negate or just cope.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a way, COVID and requiring people to work from home, and then when Rachel's working from home, we jointly decided that Rachel should downsize her employment to part-time, and that was kind of like an experiment to see, are you ready to transition? And just because she's no longer a social worker and getting paid for social work doesn't mean that Rachel's not going to work, but she's going to be putting her effort into her next career, and that's what the opportunity is.
It's all healing, so it's all the same.
They always, I always heard as a cop, it's like, oh, you're going to do your 20 years and then you're going to start your next career. And I was like, well, I'm not going to start next career as a security guard or as somebody's driver or all this other crap. Well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well stay where I'm at with seniority and get my vacations off. And why would I, just so I can make a little extra money between pension and some other salary? Why? So I was lucky that when I retired, I found that I had a lot of fulfillment from being a member of the gaming community and creating and participating in stuff within this community. I didn't get that, oh, I got nothing to do. I got this empty spot in my life. What am I going to do to fill it up with? I had it. And I found that we didn't need me to go work a new job on top of the pension. So I'm happy to see Rach putting herself in a position where she can get that kind of fulfillment from her occupation. It makes me happy, especially in the holidays. Don't give me that look. So, with a side note, Christmas started early in the Tenkar household because my father got his larger Christmas gift earlier this evening.
Oh, and you can see our Christmas tree.
Yeah, Christmas tree behind us.
It's not decorated yet. We do have the lights on though.
Yeah, but my father got his Dyson vacuum. It arrived today, and I was like, gotta give it to him so he can get rid of the damn push vacuum you have.
That really looks good back there. And then we have the little.
It's nice and scented.
Yeah.
And then the little live tree before it. It looks wonderful, darling.
It looks. I never saw it through the camera before.
I like this camera. This is the same camera that we filmed the yoga with.
Oh.
Yes.
I was noticing there wasn't the two big lights on either side.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks very nice, darling. Very nice. So, I guess we could wrap this one up. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. Just remember, just try to focus on some of the things that you're grateful for, and even maybe put it in the comments below. What's the thing that you're most grateful for around now?
It can't hurt. I mean, folks, the holidays. I say
the more that we're grateful, the more that these things that we're grateful for expand and come into our life. So
right. I mean, December, when we talk about the holidays in December, holidays is rooted in holy days. All right. And these are days where spiritually we should appreciate what we have and the powers that brought us here.
What we have, maybe who we are, certain aspects of our self that we might be grateful for that often we don't think of.
Right. But I do know there's some people, the holidays depress them because you're separated from people that you care about and love, or family strife and stress. We've said this before. You are not alone. You should never.
You're part of this crazy ass dysfunctional family.
Yeah, we're happy. We're happy dysfunctional.
There's
family.
one for everybody.
So if you need to leave a voicemail, if you need to vent, if you just need to reach out, 347-509-5168, or use the Anchor app. If you're listening on Anchor, you can use the Anchor app. We listen to it all. If you need us to reach out to you and respond, we can do so via text, at least on the Google number, or leave a voicemail in return. You tell us. But you're not alone. You are part of a larger community than you suspect. And it might not feel like that when those moments hit you. And I understand that, but you're not alone. And you shouldn't feel like you are, especially during the holidays. So, again, 347-509-5168, or you can leave a message on Anchor if you're listening on Anchor for the podcast. The podcasts, by the way, are back up. I didn't put up anything yesterday. I'll try to put up another 4 or 5 episodes today. And so it's been exciting to watch that stuff get out there again. Oh, and as a side note, I forgot to mention this earlier. Lulu is having a sale this weekend for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So if you have anything that you want that Lulu sells, that's print on demand, go to lulu.com. The coupon is on the top of the page for Lulu. I'm going to say that it is save 30, but I'm not 100% sure. But literally, you go to lulu.com. It's on top of the page. It's good through Monday. If you want to know about some RPG products that you could pick up, if you go to tenkarstavern.com, I link to other blogs and other sites that have done such lists. I'm not going to do those lists myself, and the work's already been done by people who probably know better than me. So give them the traffic, give them the views. Seriously. All right. Well,
thank you so much, and we're so grateful to have you.
Yes. Be safe, be well. Like I said, we're in the holiday season, the holy day season. So God bless. God bless you all. And even if you don't take blessings, even if you're like, I'm an agnostic, I'm an atheist, well, you know what? There's a power in the universe.
Then we'll pray for peace. Shanti, shanti.
Yeah.
Shanti.
You know what?
Shanti, shanti.
Whether it's chance or fate or a higher power in the universe, I sincerely hope things go well for you during this season. All right. I will be back tomorrow with my usual daily cast. And I think the next live stream will be Wednesday. Bad Mike and myself. Special guest to be announced. We will have one, I'm pretty sure. All right, folks. Thank you much.
Take care.
Laters.